What we have is quite dirty windows. We've got loads of debris, pollen on this frame here, and it's not only on the frame, it's on the glass too. Now, I was asked about how do I cope with really dirty windows, and this is the dirtiest windows that I've got to demonstrate on. So, well, this is what I've got, so this is what we're going to have in this video. So what I want to do first is, just because I'm not using a water fed pole, I'm going to use a brush, dustpan and brush. That didn't cost me anything. The old dustpan and brush that we had, the dustpan broke and there was a brush left over, so I use this for my work to get just loose debris off. And if it's wet, it's not that great. I might use a small squeegee to take the excess off, but if it's kind of dry, I'll just use my brush. Okay, so number one tool for cleaning dirty debris windows, and the guy who asked me this said he was dealing with windows that had grass stuck on them from the lawnmower. So that, I know as through experience, that really welds onto the glass. So that's not going to brush off with this brush, but this will get off any loose debris. Now, I'm not going to do the whole window because we don't have time for that. So hopefully I can put my camera here. Okay, so I've done that. Now, I don't use these scrubbing things. I've got one, but I don't use it. I've never needed to use this scrubber in the hand, and I suppose the only ideal thing that I would use it for would be if I needed to scrub really high windows and shove it on the end of a pole, but I've never needed it because I've got something better. Now, what have I got better? Well, I'm going to tell you a quick story about a window cleaner who spoke to me 10 years ago, and he said, I can't use squeegees over 14 inch, because when I use a squeegee over 14 inch, don't worry, it wasn't a liquidator. Liquidators weren't even invented at that time. He was getting problems with lines with his squeegee work. Now, I remember when I used to work like a window cleaner, I used to also get lines, especially on the bigger squeegees, and especially if it's dirty windows, the debris. I didn't have enough tools and enough know-how how to get that debris off the glass. But now I don't work like a particular average window cleaner. This is my tips. So number one, I've got a dustpan brush to get the loose debris off. I've got a free cloth here. This was donated, like all the other hundreds and hundreds of cloths that I've got, I never paid for. So that's literally 2 free things that I'm going to use to clean maybe the frames or any excess on the glass that I can just take off with a cloth before I wet the window up, because it's loose. But if it's more stuck on, then that's not going to work, and the brush won't work. So I don't have lines with my squeegees anymore because I don't put soap in the bucket of water. So the problem with the window cleaner that said I can't use squeegees over 14 inch, and I don't clean dirty windows, I only clean regular well-maintained windows, because he was always battling with he's retired now, he was always battling with his tools because he had a very weak soap solution to work with, like the majority of window cleaners around the world. And because he had a loose, weak soap solution, what's the betting that his technique was pretty bad as well? Well, it's a guarantee that your technique will always suffer if you don't have a very stable soap solution to work on. So the benefits of having a very stable, thick soap solution is this window is saturated, but it's not going to be dripping like if I was putting soap in a bucket of water. So he was having problems with his squeegee work, and let's say we've got a load of debris on here that I can't take off, but I'm going to got a better chance of taking it off because I've got a very stable soap solution, very thick, and that's a very absorbent of taking the dirt and debris off the glass. But it might clean the top part with my squeegee, but let's say we've got all these problems with stuck on grass from the lawnmower. So what we're going to have is, yeah, I can clean most of the window, but when I get down here, I'm going to start getting lines because it's really, really dirty. This window is not really, really dirty. It's just dirty, but I don't have to scrub that window anymore to get that pristine with zero detail, zero mistakes. So I want to work tool and technique. I don't want to make mistakes. I don't want any lines. But on a very dirty window, that's not going to be enough. And I'm not going to use I've got one in the van. I should have brought it out, but I haven't got it because I don't use it. I'm going to have to look for it. But when I'm soaping up the window here, I can feel it really rough. So what I've got is a very good scrubber here. I don't really want to be using a scraper. This is more safer than the scraper. As long as this window doesn't have any plastic coating to it, that's going to be pretty much enough to get most of that debris off. Now, I don't want to use a huge squeegee because I want a smaller surface to squeegee with, because I want better placement with my squeegee, power, positioning and pressure. If I had a really big squeegee, that might cause me a problem with lines because the pressure isn't as good. So when I'm cleaning windows that hasn't been cleaned in a long time, let's say a year, and it's very highly trafficked, like in the school, I do lots of schools. I actually got rid of a lot of my schools because I was just fed up doing them because they were hard work, and I'd rather work less hard than work hard. But sometimes I still have to do these schools, and they're really highly trafficked, and maybe they've got chewing gum on the windows or grease and grime, or spat on. But most of the time this scrubber on my under the squeegee is fine, right? So let's say I've got most of the stuff off, but I still feel there's some stuff there. I could just maybe have it a quick brush up there, but then when I'm coming to squeegee, I'll take the edges out because I want to guarantee that I'm going to get the best position with my squeegee on this very dirty window. It's a very dirty window, so yeah, now I can see I've got some lines, but my angle is very flat, and my angle where my scrubbers is in a perfect position. Now, I don't use my squeegee all the way down here. I use my squeegee, my hand very close. The closer you are to the glass, in person and with your hands, the better control you got. Now I've got the best control with this soap solution. I've got no problems with getting any lines, but this window is very, very dirty. But now I'm going over, I can see there's problems. I can just keep my tool in my hand, and I've got another one on this side. That feels like it's gone now, and I can finish off, close out to the bottom, and yes, it's gone. So let's say this is another very dirty window. I'm going to soap up. There might be a chance I'm just going to use this side of my hand. Yeah, I can feel there's a load of muck there, so I'm going to turn it round. Now we're going to really start scrubbing. Now I'm going to get my two hands and put my tool in the right place at the right time. Take those edges and corners out first and close out away from the corner. I don't want to buff up against the corner. Even on these windows that don't have a problem closing out at the corner, I still want to keep in the habit of closing out with no issues with touching anything else, just a pure close out on the bottom on these particular windows. So I could go on and on and on and on about other things, but I'll try to stay away from the scraper. These gloves, well, I know hardly anybody's got these gloves. I had to make the scrubbers, and these are just waterproof gloves. But in terms of efficiency, time savings and effectiveness with scrubbing, I've found nothing that beats this. And of course, I found nothing that beats that soap solution with control and performance and taking the dirt off the glass. And of course, this tool will outperform any squeegee tool in the world, as long as you know how to use it.